Cancelled.
Schweezy.
So I saw this from a website. I guess the website's called hiptoro.com. I don't know if they're good or not, okay? Don't judge them, but it gave me a BuzzFeed type list on a website that looks better than BuzzFeed because they have a dark mode, if you can see in the corner, all right? So let's just jump into it because the iPad's taking up the soundboard. So this episode from Hiptoro, I think this is a really fun one to talk about. I think this is going to be fun. We're going to make a fun podcast, okay? 35 things shared by people that are not accepted socially. Okay, so it's going to be weird, quirky little things that are not accepted in our world, at Schweezy's world, Elmo's world is fucking... Anything, Elmo was just like, Mr. Noodle, and they did like a fucking thing with him. I'm like, I would get that now if I was high. Like, the only difference between high adults and children are nothing. So, fucking, all right, let's go. We got 35 things. We got to get through it. Okay, a lot of gray areas. I'm not reading that. Not willing to hold others' babies. Okay. Yeah, I saw a friend a week or so ago. He had like his 4-week-old baby. I'm like, I think I don't want to touch 4-year-old babies. 4 weeks old, It's like when they come out, they're so fucking fragile, I'm going to wait for them to chub up a little bit. Then I'll hold them. Like, I think my friend's kid, I consider my niece, like, I think I held her at like 1 month old, and she was like a sleeping puppet thing, She was like a puppet. Like, it was great. But I'm like, I don't want to hold those things anymore unless they're mine. But also, I don't want it to be mine, so we're gonna keep that out of there. But yeah, no, babies. Like, I don't know. Let's date the babies before we say I'm not gonna hold your fucking baby. Like when you can hold them and not worry about killing them, I feel like isn't okay. Like before that, you're like, if someone's gonna be like, I don't want to hold your baby right now, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good thing because that thing like, because the same friend, his child before it. She was like 2 months old. He's like, make sure you give her neck support. And I'm like, oh yeah, this thing's all head. Like just laying in the neck. The head's just like nailing on you. I'm like, all right. If I hold this thing any longer, it's gonna die. So, kid's still alive, okay? I would have said something like, my friend's kid died. I feel like it wouldn't be funny, but or whatever. Considering swings or playground equipment only for kids. All right. Yeah. Adults can use it too, but it's also like supposed to be made for kids. It'll be like pushing kids off and that shit. But also, swings are for kids. There's those specific swings. We all know what I'm talking about, but they're like even little kids have a difficulty getting in them. Like the kids that can walk. But the ones that were meant for babies that you push gently, those were not made for adults. I just want to say, but yeah, adults can swing. Like assuming. I like those playground, the old playground ones that have been up there for 80 years and they haven't broken yet, so we haven't changed it. Those are safe for adults because they've had the fattest of kids on those, so you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, I guess that's my thought on swings. Declining an invitation to go out. It's how you decline it. Okay, you have to find the nicest way. Hopefully, your friends are like, "You gotta go, you gotta go." If they're begging you to go, be a good friend and be like, "You know what? This seems important to you. I gotta go to this." But if it's also like, "Hey, are you coming out tonight?" I'm like, "Sorry, I'm busy. I can't make it tonight." And they're like, "Okay," or whatever. And if it's fun, they're definitely gonna tell you about it and how you missed out on all the fun. So, yeah. But if you're just being a dick about it, don't be a dick, but being a nice friend. I'm just not, and I have pretty bad anxiety and depression and stuff like that. So a lot of times, and I'm trying to be open about it to all my friends, but it's I'm not feeling too good tonight. I'm kind of feeling kind of sick, and it's hard telling people I'm sick because there's a difference between when I'm actually sick versus when I'm depression sick, Because because if I was depression sick, I could probably still go out. I could probably force myself into it. But if you're actually sick, I'm not going out, brother. Trust me, I'm not going out. Just don't be a dick about declining invitations, Leaving without giving an explanation to people. It's called an Irish goodbye. That's fine. We're moving on. That's not a problem. We all know what that is. But also, read the room too, okay? That's all I have to say. Not answering the door if a salesperson arrives. Don't answer the door. Here's my philosophy. Do not answer the door unless you're expecting someone to come over, okay? Unless you're expecting someone to come over, we all have our own little phones. We all have text messages. We can text anyone anything at any time, and we can be fast about it. So therefore, I'm saying, yeah, unless someone's coming over, because they'll message you saying, I'm coming over. People shouldn't be coming over by surprise. I think I had an aunt come over, and I work in an area where I will not hear the door, and I didn't hear it because she didn't tell me she was coming by. She told me she was coming by, I would answer the door. But if not, I just, yeah. So that's how you get fucking murdered. Unless it's Halloween, that's how you get fucking murdered. Not feeling like wearing a bra. No, I don't wear a bra. Fellas. I don't wear a bra. And honestly, though, I think the quality, like, women who need to wear a bra, you know who you are, okay? Some of you little titty, if honestly, if like, we need to, I actually do think women should stop wearing a bra, because apparently what makes boobs saggy is wearing a bra. I saw that in a meme, and I'm going to believe it, because I like older women, and it's soon becoming women my age is what I'm going to be into. And, yeah, if like your boobs are going to sag, I would rather you not wear a bra. Because a saggy boob is a sad boob. That's all it is. Calling in sick being considered as turning your back on the team. Unless it's being hungover. That's not cool, dude. You knew you had to work that day. But if you're actually sick, like, yeah, no, you should be fine. But if like you're hungover, or you're like, I don't feel good today, or you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying when you shouldn't call off. I am a big believer. Go on days they expect you, but like, figure out your drinking problem if you're going to be hungover on a work day or whatever, how old are you? Being a man and having a liking for flowers. Yeah, I think those are called homosexuals. I do not like flowers at all. If a woman give me flowers, I wouldn't punch her in the face, but I would have sex with her and never talk to her again. That's what I would do. Crying a man being considered as something weak. Now, I think men should be able to cry. However, fellas, I do want you to know that when you cry, women's vaginas dry up. So it's like if your eyes get wet, the vagina gets dry. It's how society works. And I hate the idea of women being like, I wish men would cry in front of me. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, that's not the man you want to fuck. You don't want to fuck a man who cries in front of you. Like, that's why there's the problem. So either you decide, like, you know what? If he cries in front of me, I'm going to put some lube on my pussy and fuck him. Or you just be honest with the fact that you don't care if men are vulnerable and shit like that. Staying single. I mean, and I'm like, as a single guy, I'm like, like you have friends going through their second divorce and shit like that. You know what? It's like, I'd rather be single than go through a divorce. If you think I'm different, you're like, my divorce wasn't that hard. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Like, it's better to be single. I'm like, and I do think you can get married 3 times. I genuinely think you can get married 3 times. After your 3rd time, like, you're not legally allowed to get married again. Because what's the fucking point? There's something illegal. We could find something illegal you're doing if you got divorced 3 times. That's the fact of all that. So it's better to stay single instead of marrying a bitch. As someone who has a friend, or a former friend, who's married a bitch, it's a good thing. Being honest about not having kids. I'm like, dude, kids fucking I like my friends' kids. Like, they're fun. But, after we figure out the plans for the evening, and assuming the kid's not dying, see them a little bit, they go to bed, and then I get them uncomfortably drunk. The parents, not the kids. Just want to make sure that's an honest thing. But yeah, no, I don't think I want kids, and I'm not like being like, I permanently don't want kids. I'm getting a vasectomy, but like at the same time, like, I don't want kids, and I don't think I want kids. I may change my mind later, but right now, it's looking likely I'm probably not gonna have kids. basically. One day I'm going to have a kid and someone's going to be like, ha, look at you goddamn fucking idiot. Wearing a mask when sick to prevent others from getting sick as well. That's how masks fucking work. If you want to know how the masks work, the reason why we had everyone wear masks. I think Japan did it. So if like someone's like, oh, I think I have a cold, but like I'm not like feeling sick enough that I can't go into work, but I do have a cold. So I'm going to wear a mask while I go on the subway or whatever they call them there. Ching Chong Chows, that's what they call them there. And then that way your sickness, because the nice thing about masks is like your breath going into the mask and then not going. So the nice thing about the mask is like you're not sharing your breath with other people. That's how I was described it. And yeah, and so like Japan does it. So if like honestly, the best use of wearing a mask is if you're sick. Now, we just had everyone wear a mask just to be safe, but like in reality, I wish the United States would get into this habit of like, if you're feeling sick, you wear a mask. That way you don't spread your germs to other people, if that's the best way to explain it. So I think that's pretty cool. We have a lot more of these to go. Waking up late. You're supposed to be somewhere. That's a bad problem, and I don't agree with that. But if you're like a night person like me, and you, like, because I like to wake up at like 10 a.m. I try to wake up at 10 a.m. Sometimes I just lay in bed for a minute. But like I like waking up at 10 a.m., considering like maybe I go to bed between 2 and 4. It's a good time to wake up. But like other people see like, you wake up in the morning, I've been up since 4 a.m. feeding the cows. I'm like, does your job require you to be up that late? And like sometimes it's like no, and sometimes like figure that out, stupid. Not having alcohol around friends who are having it. That's not a problem. The problem is if they're like, I can't be around people who are drinking alcohol. Because I don't know, if you're like, I've decided to go sober, and I respect people who do that. Not me. I'm not doing that, so don't worry, folks. We're gonna have a good show going on. But there's a lot of people who are like, I'm sober, but like, the nice thing about alcohol is like you just keep it in your cup, you keep it to yourself. Weed and other drugs are the problem. They're like spread out for everyone. I think it's the idea of like keeping your drugs or alcohol to yourself, stuff like that. So, I don't know. As long as you don't ruin the buzz, but also like, we're going to a bar and all we're going to do is drink or whatever. But it's like, okay, you're going to come around, we're going to talk and hang out, or we're going to just get drunk. And, it's, the difference, but like also like, we're going to go do something, but we're going to have drinks. And you're like, I'm not going to drink. It's whatever. No one really cares. I think that's a good thing. If someone's like, I'm not drinking, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna try you anymore. Being pretty honest when someone asks how one's doing. Sometimes you gotta be like, I'll tell you how I'm doing, but also like, sometimes people don't want to hear that shit. Like I just, I don't actually, you have to understand when they care and when they don't care. So just figure that shit out. Going out for a solo dinner, like, if you're by yourself, like, I don't know, there's some restaurants where you don't go to, but, like, I think that's why they have takeout, so you can just eat the nice meal alone, I will go to, I go to places all the time where it's like, I'm just gonna eat by myself or whatever, I don't care, I don't need a bitch in my life. That sounds like a cry for help. Going for skipping as an adult. Yeah, skip a day at work, just plan it out with your other partner or whatever. I don't know. Take a nap during a lunch break. Yeah, you have 30 minutes to yourself or whatever. Take a nap. Do whatever the fuck you want, dude. Eating lunch all by yourself in the car. Dude. Yeah, that's the best way to do it, dude. Being by yourself in the car. Oh, man. Not talking. Your coworkers are fun, but like, when I'm on my lunch break or whatever, you're just like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to you when I'm getting paid. Even though, like, this is good shit right here, and, like, I'll hang out with you outside of work, but, like, right now, I'm just trying to survive. Women who don't shave. Yeah, women should shave. And I'm not, when I say women should shave, if women are in any mindset, because when men think they're having sex, we all shave our pubes. It's just what happens. It's okay, like, you grow your shit out, and you're like, oh, I might have sex tonight. I'm going to shave everything. That's the thing. But it's when women don't do that, That's the problem here. Ladies, like, okay, if you're thinking you're going to fuck, shave your legs, shave everything, shave your pubes the way you want to. If you believe like I might have sex tonight, like I think that's a good way for everyone here, because I think you should trim your genitalia in a way where it's like if someone's gonna put their mouth on this, it's not gonna be a problem. That's how I believe my life. So ladies, please shave. I don't think because hairy legs are, I don't know, I guess the culture I grew up in is like, oh, hairy legs are for men and those are unattractive, because I am not attracted to men. So that's that. Being at a playground as an adult, you have to have a kid with you. You can't just be watching that shit. We all know that's wrong. Wearing the same clothes twice in a row. Just make sure they don't smell, okay? That's not a problem. You can't be wearing smelly clothes all the time, You got to put that Harry Styles cologne I specifically own. Off-brand, obviously. I paid $12 for the $250 bottle he did. Using swear words. Hope you don't like this podcast. Self-defense not being allowed in high school. What? That's too different because, I don't know. That's a weird subject. First, self-defense not being allowed in high schools. I'm like, I think, not being allowed in high schools. I'm like, if I had a kid, I'm like, if someone I don't want you ever starting a fight, okay? Never start a fight, But if someone attacks you, once they put their arm down to attack you, please, I want you to defend yourself. I will always make sure, as long as I know that you're not the one who started the fight and you're just defending yourself, I will always have your back. But like that. My parents never had my back in that shit. Like if I got into a fight, they took the other person's side because my parents were shitty. Shit like that. But yeah, no, I get that because schools were like, I don't want any fighting, so both members of the fight should be in trouble. But like, there's a part of the fight where it probably wasn't, there's a possibility someone in the fight didn't want to be in a fight to begin with. Being an adult and having fun in anything, yeah, adults aren't supposed to have fun. So go to church. That's what happened. You're an adult. You have to start going to church and stop having fun. That's what happens. Making small talk with someone in the vicinity. There's small talk, and then there's small talk that makes me want to kill myself. If you're going to have a conversation with someone, don't make it conversations that make someone wants to kill themselves in. Because I don't mind small talk, but like if it makes me like, man, the weather's been sure bad today. I'm like, I don't want to fucking interact with you right now. I'd rather kill myself. Please know what kind of small talk it is. Showing disliking for a certain family member. If you have a bad family member, call it out, I have some bad family members I don't like, but I can't prove they really did something wrong, but I don't want to, like, fucking be around them and shit like that. They're like, hey, I'm going to be here. Are you going to hang out with us? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm going to leave town for a couple days to make sure I don't run into you and shit like that. Women going to the restroom and not hiding their tampons. Look, I've come to a conclusion, like, I don't care about tampons and shit like that, like I'm over it. Woman's like, I gotta put a tampon in. I'm like, okay, like that should just be normal. You know what? Women bleed, and like I have some friends who are like, yeah, I saw my period for this and shit like that. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hear this because I don't mind being grossed out. Being a virgin, it's okay to be a virgin. Just have sex on your own time. That's all good. Don't let anyone tell you that like being a virgin is a bad thing. Just make sure the sex is the right time, right thing, and don't, you can't, as Green Day once said, you can't go forcing something if it's just not right. Going to watch movies all by yourself. Yeah, I have said this millions of times on this podcast. I love going to movies by myself because you're watching. So what's the difference between watching a movie at home by yourself versus watching a movie in a theater? You're like, people will judge you in the theater. I'm like, no one gives a... People are more upset that you're just there when you're in the theater with someone. No one gives a shit. Go if you want to see a movie and no one's going to go with you, just go by your fucking self. It doesn't matter. Go to a matinee. Have the time. Spoil yourself, fellas. Politely refusing generosity. Yeah, I do that all the fucking time. I don't really give a shit. Men going for skincare and manicure. I do need to go for a manicure because, like... I don't know, my fingernails get ingrown, so I need to figure that shit out. But skincare, I try to take care of my skin. even though I still get pimples, and I was like, oh yeah, early mid-20s, you know, both my parents said, stop getting acne. I still get acne. Like, I just hide it well. That's all that happens. But, yeah. Let's just say skincare is the biggest organ on your body, fellas. And it's okay to take care of your organs, okay? If you're listening to this show, you probably don't take care of one organ. Taking your cat for a walk, okay. I don't know. If your cat wants to go for a walk, take him for a walk. But if they don't force your fucking cat for a walk. I think this is the last one. Putting your elbows on the table being considered offensive. That's boomer shit right there. Boomers, and it's not even boomers really cares that their parents told them that shit. And they're like, if I had to do it, then my kids have to do it. And that's why your kids don't come over. You're like, you want to come over for dinner tonight? And your kids are like, no, I don't want to come over. That's how that shit works. Oh no, we have more. Shit. Just trying to relax by laying down in public. Yeah, just don't be weird. I guess I think the real question is, too many people are being weird doing the shit that we want to do in public. Yeah, 35, that was the last one. All right. So, I guess that's all of them. You know, it's really made me think differently as a person, and that's a matter of fact.
Thank you for watching this clip.